You wanna talk builds? Let's talk builds. Ever since the release of Title Update 4 and the release of my favorite pitbull named Sunshine, build variety and Monster Hunter Wilds has skyrocketed from close to infinite to holy hell, there is so much I can do now. On one side of the coin, this update brought older armors back into the limelight like Guardian Fulgur Anjanath or Ebony Odogaron, giving them a chance to contend with the previous quote-unquote meta sets like the Gamma armor and the Lagiakis armor. But, on the other side of the coin, those same sets have just become even more cracked and harrowed because of one single monster. Gogmazios has probably been the craziest implementation of an endgame form that Capcom could have done for a modern Monster Hunter game, because not only is the fight against the Walking Dragonator a stellar spectacle past phase 1 though, but his drops in armor are what I would say is the biggest culprit of doping up all build possibilities. Now why is that the case? Let me explain. These things, little pieces on his body? Yeah, those little ball sacks are to blame. When you break one of these balls off of Gogmazios' body, and as long as you complete the hunt, you will be rewarded with mutated armaments, which are a new material unique to Gogmazios. And there's 3 types of mutated armaments. There's attack, affinity, and element. What do they do? Well, remember your RT weapons, your endgame grind for this game's entire lifespan? So what if I told you they could be upgraded? After selecting your RT weapon of choice, you are given the option to boost either its raw attack, affinity, or elemental value. But to counteract that, each one comes with its own downside. Choosing a raw attack bumps your affinity down by 15%, effectively setting it to negative 10% if you had no affinity stats before, which, why would you? Elemental damage has a similar downside to raw, but it only bumps the affinity down by 5%, so you're left with 0% affinity in base. Affinity gives you guessed it, an increase to your affinity stat, while decreasing both your raw and element stat. But let's be honest, nobody's using that shit. Nobody has ever willingly rolled for affinity on an RT weapon, and if they aren't going to do that for the Gogma weapons either, and if you say otherwise, you're either lying, or you're just wrong. What I really like about this new system though is that it essentially creates a new Switch Axe power file that I've been wanting in this game for the longest time, being power file element Switch Axes, and now I finally have them, especially since they can actually contend with Lagiakis Switch Axe now, because oh my fucking god, before this element files were just bad. Once you choose your Gogma reinforcement of choice, congratulations! You have officially begun your new endgame grind. You may have noticed that your weapon unlocked 2 extra skills, both an armor set skill and an armor group skill, but hold your horses, hold on, we won't be diving into that just yet, calm down. With your new Gogma weapons, you can now enhance your previously rolled substats to higher values, ranging from 2, 3, and EX. However, before you go ahead and try to get like 4 raw EXs, let me stop you real quick and tell you how it actually works. Every time you reroll your enhanced stats, each one has a chance to either be a 2, 3, or an EX, which costs you either the ore used to make RT weapons or Gogmazios materials. However, you can only have an EX on the same stat twice, meaning you can only have 2 EX raw attacks as an example. This does mean that, theoretically, you can have 5 EXs if you had 2 raw, 2 element, and 1 sharpness if you really want to go there. But if you're going to ask me, doing that kind of split sometimes doesn't really matter. But what would I know? I only play Switch Axe, and because of that, I've decided I need 2 of the same weapon with either purely raw or element attack subsets, because I hate myself. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about the real grind, your armor skills and group skills. Those armaments you use to craft your Gogma weapon, you can use them to reroll whatever your given armor skill and group skill is on your weapon. But this does mean you cannot choose to reroll just one of those skills, you have to unfortunately reroll both at the same time. Each roll costs 1,500 points from your GOG materials, and each one only gives 250 points by default. However, if you use the Gogma material you reinforce your weapon with, you get double the points out of them, equaling to 500, meaning instead of using 6 pieces, you only use 3, so it is probably in your best interest to only use matching pieces unless you can afford to use all of them. Now, why does this matter? So, you know how to activate Guts, you need to wear 3 pieces of Gamma armor? Yeah, you only need 2 now. Or, because you can just get that on your weapon. Or, here, hold on, the Lagiakis armor skill needing 2 pieces of the armor? No, you only need 1. You can just get that on your weapon now. Unironically, that's fucking bonkers. That's just bonkers. But because of these new possibilities from your weapon, this does mean that this frees up so much new potential with armor mixing. Here, like, hold on. Take this random crackpipe build I thought of one night, for example. So, theoretically, and it has happened, what if I wanted to make a power file Switch Axe with both Guts, Lagiakis armor skill, and Gorbagala's skill. Before Title Update 3, that was not happening. But now, oh baby, it can happen and it will happen. Just got to get the roll on the right weapon. That's not the right axe! But hold on. Don't think I forgot about the fucking Transcend mechanic. Guardian Fulgur Anjanath used to be a good choice for Switch Axe due to its stamina uptime for maximum life, but it slowly became something that I deemed irrelevant due to the introduction of Guts, insane potential for latent power from Archetype and Rain Down, and its iffy gem slots. But now, with the ability to transcend the armor, both the gloves and the belt have gained what I consider to be true relevance again, since they both give 2 level 3 gem slots. All this on a rating 6 armor, and I'm still able to get maximum agitator, counter strike, level 4 latent power, and maximum might, and have the Guardian Fulgur Anjanath skill active? Am I in heaven? Now hold on, just hold on, cause I'm still not done. The God Mazio's armor has officially introduced Agitator for elemental damage with his armor skill, and a fuck you can't hit me shield with level 4 on his skill. But hear me out. What if I told you, and this is gonna sound psychotic, you only need 3 pieces of God Mazio's armor, God Apocalypse, on your weapon. Like, hello? And now you can also slot in 2 Gorbagala armor pieces for even more element and affinity for Frenzy Cure, Antivirus, and Coalescence. Elemental Switch Axe might actually be insanely back. Oh my god. God Mazios has genuinely given the endgame of Wilds infinite heroin, and let me tell you, I am all here for it. I can only imagine what Archetype and Archveld's armor is going to look like and what it would look like for element builds due to elemental absorption, but we can only wait and see. So for now, sit back, stay hydrated, and get to hunting, because we have a lot to do in Ecology for the eventual DLC that will blow the meta out of the fucking exosphere. And watch me massacre the ecosystem with my favorite Swiss Army knife again.
Leave it like this. The path we must take is clear. If I were a hunter, it's what I would do.
Overall, Title Update 4 has truly got me excited, more so than even Title Update 3 with the introduction of Big Boss Man Omega. And I'm only saying that because I have a giant crush on Final Fantasy XIV, but GOG Mazios has officially opened up so many doors for everyone to walk through in crafting their builds, and I am very excited to see what other people come up with along with myself. Because if you ask me, part of the fun of Monster Hunter is the build crafting, the testing, the fulfillment you get from crafting something so vile, so evil, that it makes you feel like a god among hunters. All these new changes to build crafting in this update alone has me both excited and very terrified for what they may have planned for the soon-to-be expansion for the game. And I'm still holding out hope that they bring a function to get weapon-specific skills on other weapons, like blade scale honing on a non-Seregios weapon, because the Seregios Switch Axe is trash outside of Monster Hunter 4. But we can only wait and see. So until then, stay strong, smart, and get to killing that gas tank. Happy hunting, everyone.